I just found some amazing comic book deals on Instagram, and I'm going to share them with you. Welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher. So let's jump right into it. We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and welcome back to another video. As always, I go through Instagram and I check out all the comic seller Instagram pages looking for deals. Now, you guys should be doing that as well if you are looking to buy comics right now, because you can always get some amazing comic book deals on Instagram. But with that said, I've been scrolling and scrolling, looking through pages and pages of comics to see what books I wanted in my collection that I wanted to add for a good price if they came along. And I was actually able to find a bunch of comics that were like, wow, these are really fairly priced, or even underpriced in my opinion, that hey, someone out there in the community may want to pounce on these, and I'm going to share them with you. So before we get started in the video, like always, I'm going to ask you, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, do me a favor, go ahead and click the subscribe button, tap that like button, and make sure to turn on that notification bell, because once I share these comics with you guys, I'm sure they're going to fly off the Instagram pages and are going to be sold. I may even reach out to some of these sellers and say, hey, are you willing to do a deal, even though they're already greatly priced? And that's the way to do it, to be honest with you. And I may buy a few of these myself. So make sure you pay attention. Let's get into it. So the first one that I was going to show you guys was from Elite Comics 11, okay? When I saw this book, I was like, you know what? This is a pretty popular book right now, but I wasn't sure I wanted to add it to collection. But when I saw the price that they have this thing listed for, I was like, holy crap. It is a copy of Fantastic Four number 4 in a CGC 4.0. Now they have this thing priced at $3,499, but believe it or not, guys, the craziest thing is if you go on GPA, and I'm gonna throw it up here for you so you guys can see it. The last sale was just this September for a whopping $5,160. We're talking about almost a $1,500 decrease in price. Now we have to go look at the CGC graders notes to see what is going on with this book, why it's so underpriced for the last sale. But either way, if you're going to get even $500 gain, it's still worth it to me. As long as there's nothing major wrong with this book, I think it's going to be worth it. Now, $3,500 is a lot of money to spend, but for a CGC 4.0, it may be worth it. But like I said, check the graders notes. To me, I think this is well worth it, considering the Submariner is coming to the MCU, and this is only the beginning of his story. So if you can get a $1,000 deal on a book and a mid-grade, why not go for it? I think this is a monster deal that everybody is sleeping on right now. So make sure to go to Elite Comics 11 and check out this book. The next one I pulled for you guys is also from Elite Comics 11. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 14 in a CGC 3.5 grade. Now, this deal wasn't that great. It's about fair market value, but what I will say, this book has been posted for about 2 weeks now, and it really hasn't got any movement. We know that the Green Goblin showed up in Spider-Man No Way Home, and that, you know, he's probably not going to come back around for a really long time. So I still see this book probably dropping a little bit. Regardless, they have this book on sale for $1,999. And be honest, that is actually the last sale on GPA in September for $2,000. But being that it's been sitting there for a couple of weeks already, why not go ahead and make an offer of like $1,700 and try to get this book for under fair market value? You have to be a Spider-Man fan, you have to be a Green Goblin fan, and you have to believe in the character that this book is going to go up in the future. You guys know I am, right? I'm a huge Spidey fan, and this is probably the top villain there is out there, him and Doc Ock. So if you can pull this book in a great grade of a 3.5, it is a Silver Age key. I think that's a really good price, around $1,700, $1,750, because the book has been sitting a little bit. I think that's a great deal. Shoot your shot, try to get it. But this is number 2, and I saw that there. I was like, you know what? That's a pretty good deal. All right, the next book I was able to get was from Grails Comics. So if you guys are not familiar with these guys on Instagram, you have Elite Comics 11, who does all the live sales, have been doing it since COVID. Grails Comics does some live sales too, but they always post books. It's a consignment page, so they always post books for sale. I pulled an Ultimate Fallout 4 CGC 9.8 with the Marvel label, believe it or not. Now, we all know this book has really been coming down in price. It has really tanked over the past 6 months. think the high was somewhere around $4,000. Then it kind of settled at $3,000 for a bit. Now, this book is on sale by them for $2,199, and it's still sitting. This book has to bottom somewhere. It's not going to go much lower, in my opinion. I think this is about where it's going to settle at. But again, that's my opinion. But either way, if you want a 9.8 Ultimate Fallout 4 with the Marvel Miles label, this one looks absolutely spectacular. I myself got rid of my 9.6 copy just so I can look for a CGC 9.8. The last sale for this book was $2,280, believe it or not. So it's right around fair market value. You're getting about an $80 discount. All these books are always or best offer or shipped. So if it continues to sit over the next couple of days, guys, make an offer. Make a $2,000 offer and see if you can kind of settle somewhere in the middle. I definitely think this book is worth it if you're willing to hold on to it for the long term. But either way, another book for a great price. All right, the next book I took was a monster key, and it tempts me into go ahead and asking about this book. It is a copy of Fantastic Four number 5, signed by the great Stan Lee in a CGC 2.0. Now, when you look at this book, you know, it's got a little bit of damage on it. It's an older label as well. Probably could benefit from a press, but of course, because it is a signature series label, you'd have to have it done by CGC. Regardless, they're asking $7,550 for this book. Now, you guys know I have a CGC 2.0 and a CGC 3.0, both blue labels, but when I went in to look at the numbers, there's a great disparity between the two grades. A CGC Blue Label 2.0 sold back in September for $6,300, which to me is actually a really good deal because it has come down a little bit. But they didn't have a CGC 2.0 Signature Series signed by Stan Lee on GPA. So usually what I do in this instance is I take a 0.5 grade above in a blue label because that's really what a Stan Signature does for a CGC graded comic. So like I said, at a 2.0, it was a $6,300 in September. But guess what, guys? A 2.5 blue label, which I equate to a 2.0 Stan signed book, was $8,800, believe it or not. That is a crazy sale to me. A 2.5 just sold this September for $8,800, and they're only asking $7,550 for this book for a Stan Lee signed copy of this book. A lot of people out there probably aren't into the signature game when it comes to Stan books on Silver Age comics, but to me, I absolutely love Stan Sigs, and I think they hold a premium because of what Stan was in the comic industry. To me, I think this book is a steal at $7,500 with a 2.5 blue label for selling at $8,800. To me, that's just crazy. I may reach out to Grails on this book to see if we could do some kind of deal, but regardless, I think it's a good buy. The last book I have on this list for this video is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 129 and a CGC 7.0 by Grails Comics as well. Now, when you look at this book, obviously it's a CGC older label, so anytime I see a CGC older label, the first thing that I'm looking for is if this book can benefit from a press. So if you look closely at this book on the bottom left-hand corner, maybe a little bit above that, you can see some pressable defects which may be able to give this book a bump. Now, I don't have the book in my hands. I could always reach out, or you guys could reach out and say, hey, can I get a few more pictures of this book to see if it's possibly getting a grade bump? But regardless, it's going to cost you money to send into CGC, press it yourself, and then kind of get the grade bump, right? It's really to each his own. For me, I definitely think it's worth it. Again, they're only asking $1,899 for this book as is, okay? Do your diligence, check the grader's notes, see if there's any major flaws with the book. That's what you have to do when it comes to this stuff. But regardless, guys, the last sale for a 7.0 was $2,400, which to me, it's a no-brainer, right? For $1,899 right now for a CGC old label, which you could get a bump, and the last sale was $2,400, that is a no-brainer. Go out and pick up this book if you guys are interested. If not, I'm going to email them right after I'm done making this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought this is a good format to kind of come on here and share some of the amazing deals you can get on Instagram right now. I will say that I've used all three of these guys for buying comic books: Elite Comics 11, Diamond Comic Club, and of course Grails Comics. I've bought books from everybody. I've sold books through these guys, so they are reputable, so have no fear. Your money and your books are safe. But with that said, these deals aren't going to last. I really took my time and went through some of the posts to see what they were asking for these books, and all these books were still not claimed at the time of me filming this video. But you guys have to be quick, all right? With that said, hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.